Hello everyone, and welcome to the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. That is what it stands for. We've had it with your dirty fucking jokes. On Halloween night 1992, BBC One aired a documentary special, and it certainly was a special documentary. Proof of the supernatural, particularly of one malevolent poltergeist, would be aired, for one night only. This is Ghostwatch. And now, before we really get into it, Ghostwatch is not real. But it is real fucking scary. Ghostwatch is obviously not real. For one thing, the climax involves a seemingly nationwide seance, and it posits real proof of ghosts. Ghosts? I mean, who would believe in— Guys, I have something to confess. I don't know why, but the mix of a Catholic upbringing, a love of fiction, and just a touch of whimsy makes me the perfect target to maybe, possibly, perhaps, believe in ghosts. I normally would not admit that, but this is a bit of a special video. We at Casual Classroom recently hit 1,000 subscribers. So it's time to tighten up this ship a bit. At least once a month I want to be uploading a members video, which will also be available on Patreon. These could range anywhere from videos on the absurdity of cat manga to BBC TV mockumentaries that fabricate proof of poltergeists. Ghostwatch follows the fictional Early family and their hauntings on the fictional Fox Hill Drive at the hands of the fictional poltergeist Pipes, who is fictional. But what makes Ghostwatch so special is the parts of it that aren't fictional, or that create incredible signatures with that line between fact and fiction. The hosts were not no-name Hollywood hopefuls, they were real TV reporters and on-air personalities that people trusted to deliver them the news every night. We can get into whether or not it was ever wise to trust the news media in another video, or maybe not, that sounds so fucking boring. But Ghostwatch is not only a fascinating piece of TV history and a landmark event in the beloved pastime of making the British suffer, it's genuinely scary. I really recommend that you go check out Ghostwatch, but I won't be able to remember which streaming service it's on until they sponsor me. Whenever I sit down to watch a movie, play a video game, read a flesh book, whatever, I try to put myself in the shoes that the creators intended me to be in. Luckily, the creators almost never intend for me to be in my poop-filled shoes. While now we're even a little too familiar with all the ways a piece of footage can be altered, like, we live in a time where Avatar can just look real, like that's a real blue guy. It's a little hard to convince someone that any footage isn't doctored. But in 1992, on an era-appropriate screen without the monster that is the modern internet, Ghostwatch was all too real. I mean, in 1999, people thought that they bought a ticket to go see real footage of something called the Blair Witch doing something. Even Paranormal Activity, released in 2007, supposedly had people thinking that they were watching real footage of a possession. But, I don't know, I think that people were a little less susceptible to this kind of bullshit after Blair Witch.
To all the men and women of the United States Armed Forces now in the Middle East, the peace of a troubled world and the hopes of an oppressed people now depend on you. That trust is well placed.
Huh. We open on a large and gaudy studio set where the host, Michael Parkinson, and his colleagues are joined by stage actress Gillian Bevan as paranormal expert Dr. Lynn Pascoe. Michael, Dr. Pascoe, as well as on-air personality Craig and married couples Sarah Green and Mike Smith form a fantastically realistic picture of 90s British TV media. At least from the perspective of an American born in 2000 who hates them. I love the way that even in the heat of supernatural phenomena, Parkinson, in the most old British newsman way possible, goes, "Yes, now have you told the ghost to stop?" The attention that Ghostwatch pays to each aspect of the production is enveloping and immersive. We get to know the boom guy, cameraman, the daughters of the Early family even help the crew not trip over their own wires as they investigate the cramped flat. The daughters, Suzanne and Kim, are the lead suspects for the poltergeist activity, as any horror fan could guess. The activity, which in the shot that opens the special is cheesy, with crash zooms and stock sound effects, quickly metamorphosizes. Starting subtle with thuds and pre-recorded interviews with the poltergeist pipes, putting myself into the poop-filled shoes of the past helped this be pretty unnerving. But very quickly, I lost the need to send myself back to the days of yore. 1992, because Ghostwatch is just genuinely terrifying. Also, I couldn't get a clip of him, but the only American in the whole program reports from New York City and is the biggest asshole in the world. I love him. One of my favorite aspects of the mockumentary special is the ups and downs it takes you on. It would be easy enough to present a straightforward narrative about a family haunting, but Ghostwatch draws you in with twists and turns. Starting with the older daughter, Suzanne, faking at least some of the banging noises that have been plaguing the family. But quickly, the hoax perpetuated by Suzanne is overshadowed by her seeming possession and bloody scratches being dug into her face. In one of my favorite moments when Michael Parkinson posits that Suzanne may have done it with her own fingernails, her mother responds, holding up her daughter's bare hands and shouting, "What flaming fingernails?" Another element which adds to the increasingly believable terror is a live phone gallery in the studio, calls pilfered throughout the hour-and-a-half special. Some of them are innocuous, and by speculation from the host, most of them are likely pure bunk, but as Ghostwatch goes on, they become one of the most unnerving elements of the presentation. I think it's about time I told you the real ghost story of Ghostwatch, Mr. Pipes, who is, once again, not real. Throughout the production, one of the elements that becomes more and more pressing is the history of Fox Hill Drive. From ley lines to doomsday books, but the most disturbing element concerns one of the former tenants, Raymond Tunstall. Hey there! Hey, sorry guys, that was stupid. Trigger warning for self-harm and child sexual abuse. Ghostwatch is a 90-minute special, as I've mentioned previously, on the dot as well due to it airing the way it did. The pacing as a 3-act structure is wonderfully tuned, with the tension and intrigue both ratcheting up exactly when the creators intend it to. At the beginning of the program, when the paranormal goings-on of the night consist of playing Sorry, we are introduced to a boarded space under the stairs as the Glory Hole.
A glory hole?
A secret portal created as a passageway for one to safely insert one's penis.
I'm sorry, a hole to stick your dick in?
We return to the subject later in the program after several unnerving calls, accounts, and even what I am certain are pipe sightings that go unnoticed. In perhaps my favorite moment of the whole program, and what is certainly one of the scariest, we get a call from an unnamed, unnerved man, claiming to be a former social worker.
Hello, your name is?
I don't want to give my name, but I think I have some information for you about the history of the house.
Or what do you know about it?
Well, we've been into all that. We've got the deeds and searches going back to the year it was built, and the history of the site as far as the Doomsday Book and the ley lines.
Do you know Mr. and Mrs. Sellers?
Yes, they're on our list of tenants. They lived there in the 60s, I think.
Did you know they sublet a room?
No, I didn't know that.
In a chilling way, you instantly know what room it is the caller is referring to, before he goes on to elaborate on the kind of person Raymond Tunstall was. We learn that the already unnerving Mr. Pipes we've come to fear was a monster in the living world too, who predated on and endangered children before ending his own life in the room under the stairs. It gets weirdly transphobic for a sec, I mean, it is British, before taking a handbrake turn into absolute horror. There's the more fun side of things that may have clued in any skeptic viewers to the ruse like the nationwide seance that is held from the studio. However, most of the paranormal activity as the program goes on is unnerving at best and pants-pissing at worst. Earlier in the program, it's established that poltergeists have a recurring habit of creating perfect circles, in this case, an unexplained perfect circle of water on the living room carpet. Well, when the team at Fox Hill Drive is covering an unexplained mess of drawings, supposedly from Mr. Pipes, a perfect circle of crayons can be seen briefly on the ground. The fact that they don't even acknowledge this only bolsters the reality of the program. Before even more unnerving, confusing scares, like the moment when we realize the footage we're seeing of the peaceful family scene, including the camera crew, the lovable host Sarah, still playing sorry with the girls, is fake. Unfortunately, however, the reality that makes Ghostwatch so horrifying was not as appreciated by everyone else as it was me, which I feel like I'm a really cool guy, like cool and normal. So while now it's easy to look at Ghostwatch as the work of fiction, albeit scary fiction that it is, in 1992 on a worse, uglier, more British TV, it felt real. Most viewers would have missed the opening of the special, which showed that the program was scripted. Many more frightened viewers surely would have tuned out before the more unbelievable elements like the studio seance took place, leading to at least 2 reported cases of Ghostwatch-induced PTSD from a pair of 10-year-old boys who had seen the program without their parents' knowledge. Most tragically, and I would like to issue another warning for self-harm, 18-year-old Martin Denham, who suffered from learning disabilities and was speculated to have a mental age of approximately 13, also watched the program without the knowledge of his parents, whom Martin lived with. Martin took his own life just 5 days after he had seen the program. His parents reported that he had become transfixed. However, I personally believe, after reading about the situation, that the stress and dismay Martin suffered due to the faulty pipes in his Nottingham family home was unfairly twisted by the tabloid media to fit a narrative that they could use to attack the program. Ghostwatch has never been aired again, seeing from the controversy it received. Many still blame it for the death of at least one and the stress of many more. However, I still believe that Ghostwatch is a commendable film, worthy of recognition and commentary. I even firmly believe that its commitment to realism is what sells the entire picture. Even after the somewhat ridiculous seance in the studio, they cut back after the chaos has ceased. We find the host, Michael Parkinson, reading a nursery rhyme from the teleprompter. I really hope that y'all enjoyed my first members video covering Ghostwatch, because I've had just a blast making it. I want to make these, at least, like, slightly different from my main channel stuff. So right now, the other ideas I have are a video covering all of the different absurd cat mangas I can find, a book club style video on Batman The Long Halloween, and a video ranking every depiction of Order 66. So, yeah, if you like any of those ideas, or if you have any ideas yourself, please let me know. I hope you stick around. And yeah, this is Shane, signing off from the Big British Cock. Hey y'all, thank you so much for watching that video as always. If you made it to this point, a special triple thank you. This is what you get when you're a member. You get triple thank you. I can't do a W there. I don't want anyone to think that, or wait. I was gonna make a joke about I don't want people to think I'm involved in gang activity, but I don't even know how close I was to a gang sign and at which moment. So, you know, I think I'm good, actually. What I have to show up for my collection this week is my horror short story book, actually. This is The Last Universe on the Left. Yeah, I published this in 2021. Got the other one talking to publishers with it right now, so very exciting. Yeah, it's 11 horror short stories. I hope you go check it out. I thought I would put it at the end of this because, you know, if you're here, you probably particularly like my content, and you clearly like horror. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching that, and thank you so much for being a member. I made this after my, like, first 1,000 subs, or tighten up the ship a bit, as I keep saying. You know, if you are a member who saw this. I'm also gonna put a free one on Patreon, so, like, this thank you is not for you moochers. But yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.